Namaskaram, my friends. The world is full of all kinds of people. Some will praise you, some will insult you. Some will love you and some will try to pull you down. If you live by their words, you will forever be a puppet, dancing to the tunes of others. Today, let us understand how to live in such a way that no one has the power to disturb your peace or provoke anger within you. If someone can make you angry, they control you. The moment you allow another person's words, actions, or even mere presence to trigger an emotional reaction within you, you have handed over the keys to your inner world. Imagine you wake up in the morning feeling peaceful and joyful, but then someone comes along and says something unpleasant, and suddenly your mood changes. What has happened here? You were in control of your emotions just a while ago, but now, because of a few words that floated in the air, you have become disturbed. This means that your emotions are being dictated by external factors. Now, let's say another person is in the same situation but remains unshaken. Someone hurls insults at them, but they smile and walk away. Why? Because they have understood a simple truth. Other people's words and actions belong to them, not to you. If you choose to pick them up and make them your own, that is entirely your doing. This is why two people can experience the same situation differently. One gets furious and the other remains calm. It is not the external event that causes distress, it is how you process it within yourself. If you are quick to anger, it means you are like a puppet in the hands of the world. People know exactly which strings to pull to make you dance to their tune. They say something and you react. They push a little and you explode. They insult you and you burn with rage. Is this intelligence? Is this freedom? No. This is slavery. True power is when you remain untouched, no matter what others do. It is when you decide how you feel, not others. Now you may say, but what if someone is being truly offensive or unfair? Shouldn't I react? The question is not about reacting or not reacting. The question is whether you are responding consciously or merely acting out of compulsion. If you allow anger to take over, your mind loses clarity and your actions become thoughtless. But if you remain composed, you can choose the best possible way to handle the situation. Maybe you need to speak up, maybe you need to walk away, or maybe you need to address the issue in a strategic way. The moment you lose your cool, you lose the ability to make the right decision. Look around at people who get angry easily. Are they in control of their lives or are they always disturbed by something or someone? You will see that anger never brings solutions, it only brings stress, frustration and regret. If you want to be free, if you want to be powerful, then make one simple decision. No one will have the power to make you angry. Whatever happens outside, you remain steady inside. This is true mastery over life. Words are just sounds in the air. You give them meaning inside yourself. Every day people say all sorts of things, some pleasant, some unpleasant. But have you ever noticed that the same words can mean different things to different people? If someone calls you a fool, one person might laugh it off. Another might ignore it. The words are the same, but the reactions are different. Why? Because words by themselves have no power. The only power they have is the one you assign to them. Think of it this way. If you hear a language you don't understand, people might be saying all kinds of things, but it does not affect you because their words are meaningless to you. But the moment you understand the language and interpret the words in a personal way, they start having an effect on your emotion. This clearly shows that it is not the words themselves that cause trouble, but the meaning you attach to them. The words are just vibrations traveling through the air, but you take them, twist them, replay them in your mind and create suffering for yourself. Many people spend their entire lives in turmoil simply because they have not learned to filter what enters their minds. They take every comment, every insult, and every criticism as a personal attack. They allow words to define their mood, their self-worth, and even their future. But the truth is, you have a choice. You can decide which words to accept and which to discard. If someone praises you, you feel happy. If they insult you, you feel hurt. But both these reactions show that you are dependent on others for how you feel. If you truly want to be free, you must stop giving words so much importance. Instead of reacting blindly, observe how words come and go like the wind. Some words are kind, some are harsh, but they are all temporary. They only stay with you if you hold on to them. If you stop holding on, they lose all power over you. Distance yourself from external drama. Observe, don't absorb. The world is a stage full of endless drama. People are always caught up in their own stories, their own conflicts, and their own emotion. Everywhere you look, there is noise. People fighting, gossiping, complaining, and reacting. If you get too involved in this drama, you will lose your peace, because drama always seeks attention. It wants you to react, to get entangled, and to participate. But the moment you step back and simply observe, the game changes. Imagine walking through a crowded marketplace. You hear hundreds of voices, different people arguing, bargaining, laughing, or shouting. But do you stop to fight with every person? No, you simply walk past, unaffected by the noise. This is how life should be. The world will always be full of noise and distractions, but you have the power to choose whether to engage or not. If you pick up every problem, every argument, and every unnecessary emotion, you will always be burdened. But if you learn to watch from a distance without getting pulled in, life becomes effortless. Some people thrive on drama. They create problems, they instigate fights, and they seek attention by pulling others into their chaos. If you respond to them emotionally, you are caught in their web. But if you simply observe, you will see how predictable their patterns are. You will begin to recognize the same cycles repeating over and over again, and once you see it clearly, you will stop reacting. You will realize that none of this is truly about you. People behave according to their own conditioning, their own struggles, and their own limitations. Their words and actions are merely expressions of their inner world. Why should you make their inner turmoil your own? The key is to become an observer. Watch people, listen to them, understand them, but don't take everything personally, just as you watch a movie without getting lost in it. Learn to watch life in the same way. When you develop this ability, you will see how much unnecessary suffering you are creating for yourself. You will no longer be disturbed by every little thing happening around you. Instead, you will move through life with a sense of clarity and ease, untouched by the chaos of the world. People will do what they do. Why should their actions decide your peace? Every person in this world acts based on their own thoughts, experiences, and emotions. Some people will be kind, some will be rude, some will be indifferent, and some will try to provoke you. But if you spend your life reacting to how others behave, then your peace will always be in their hands. You will wake up feeling happy, but the moment someone does something unpleasant, your happiness disappears. What kind of life is that? Should your inner state be controlled by what someone else says or does? Imagine you are walking on the street and someone bumps into you accidentally. If you realize it was unintentional, you don't get angry. But if you assume they did it on purpose, you may feel offended. The same action, yet two different reactions. This proves that it is not what people do that disturbs you, it is your interpretation of their actions. You create a story in your mind, and that story determines your emotion. Instead of reacting impulsively, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If the answer is no, then why let it affect you? The truth is, you cannot control how people behave. You cannot force them to be kind, honest or fair. They will act according to their nature, just as you act according to yours. If you depend on others to behave a certain way in order for you to be happy, then you have given them control over your life. But the moment you decide that your peace is your own responsibility, no one can take it away from you. People may insult you, cheat you or misunderstand you, but you have the choice to remain untouched. It does not mean you allow wrong things to happen, it means you act with clarity instead of reacting emotionally. Some people will appreciate you, some won't, some will respect you, some will criticize you. If you base your emotions on the behavior of others, you will always be in turmoil. Instead, be like the sky. The weather changes, storms come and go, but the sky remains untouched. In the same way, let people do what they do, but don't let it disturb your inner balance. When you master this, you will experience a kind of freedom that most people never know. If someone disturbs you, they live in your head rent-free. Don't let them stay. Have you ever noticed how a single negative interaction can stay with you for hours, days, or even years? Someone may have insulted you 5 years ago, but even today, you remember it and feel the same anger or hurt. But where is that person now? They have moved on, living their life without even thinking about you. Yet you are carrying them in your mind, playing their words over and over again like a broken record. This is what it means to let someone live in your head rent-free. When you allow someone's words or actions to disturb you long after the event has passed, you are the one keeping them alive in your mind. They might have spoken without even thinking, but you took their words and built a prison for yourself. Why? Why should you suffer because of something that has already happened? If someone throws garbage into your home, will you keep it there for years, or will you clean it out immediately? In the same way, why are you holding on to toxic thoughts and emotions? Freedom comes when you realize that you are not obligated to carry every insult, every negative comment, or every unpleasant memory with you. The past is gone. People will say what they want, but it is your choice whether to keep replaying it or to let it go. If you want to live peacefully, don't allow unnecessary tenants to occupy space in your mind. Every time a disturbing thought arises, ask yourself, do I really need this? If the answer is no, drop it and move forward. Your mind is your space. Keep it clean, keep it light. When you stop letting people rent space in your head, you will feel a sense of ease and clarity that nothing can shake. True strength is in not being shaken. Stay conscious and respond, don't react. Many people believe that being strong means being aggressive, loud or dominant. But real strength is something else entirely. It is the ability to remain steady, no matter what happens. It is the power to choose your response instead of reacting impulsively. When you are easily provoked, you are not in control. The person who triggers you is. True power is when nothing can disturb your peace unless you allow it. Imagine you are in a situation where someone is trying to provoke you. They insult you, question you, or try to make you feel small. The usual reaction is to get angry, defend yourself, or attack back. But if you do that, you have already lost. You have let them dictate your emotions. Instead, take a moment, pause, observe the situation, ask yourself, what is the best way to handle this? When you respond with awareness instead of reacting blindly, you remain in control. There is a simple way to test your inner strength. The next time someone tries to upset you, watch yourself. Do you immediately react, or can you maintain your calm? If you react, don't judge yourself. Just observe. The more you observe, the more you will see how often you are giving your power away. But as you practice staying conscious, you will find that your reactions become fewer and your responses become wiser. Strength is not in proving yourself to others. It is not in arguing or winning battles. It is in knowing that nothing outside of you has the power to shake you unless you allow it. When you master this, your presence alone will command respect. Not because you demand it, but because you are unshakable. Your inner state should not depend on others. Take full charge of it. Most people live in a way where their emotions are controlled by the outside world. If people treat them well, they are happy. If someone is rude to them, they are upset. If they receive praise, they feel confident. If they are criticized, they feel worthless. But is this any way to live? If your emotions are dictated by what others do, then your entire experience of life is being controlled by forces outside of you. This means you are not in charge of yourself. Anyone can push a button and make you feel a certain way. Take a moment and think, if someone can say a few words and completely change your mood, what does that say about your inner strength? It means you have given them more power over you than you have over yourself. Shouldn't your peace and joy be your own responsibility? If your happiness is always dependent on how others behave, then it will always be unstable. Some people will be kind, some will be unkind. Some will agree with you, others will oppose you. If you allow your inner state to fluctuate based on this, you will never experience lasting peace. The truth is, no one can make you feel anything unless you allow it. People can say things, do things, or create situations, but it is your response that decides how you feel. If you recognize that your emotions are your own, you will stop expecting the world to behave a certain way just to keep you happy. You will stop blaming others for your moods, and instead, you will take full responsibility for how you feel. This is a powerful shift, because once you understand this, no one will have the ability to disturb your peace unless you permit it. Stop trying to control the world. Control yourself instead. A large part of human suffering comes from the attempt to control things that are beyond our control. People try to control how others behave, what they think, what they say, and even how life unfolds. But the reality is, the world will not move according to your wishes. No matter how much you try, people will do what they want, circumstances will change, and life will unfold in its own way. If you are constantly fighting to control everything around you, you will always be frustrated. Think about how much energy people waste in trying to change others. They want their partner to act a certain way, their friends to think a certain way, their colleagues to behave a certain way, but no matter how hard they try, people continue to be as they are. Instead of trying to bend the world to your will, what if you learned to manage yourself? If you could remain peaceful no matter what happens, wouldn't that be a far greater power? If a storm comes, you cannot stop the wind from blowing, but you can take shelter. If it rains, you cannot stop the water from falling, but you can use an umbrella. In the same way, instead of wasting energy trying to control external situations, learn to handle yourself. This is the difference between a person who is always disturbed and a person who is always at ease. One tries to control the uncontrollable, while the other controls what is in their hands, themselves. If you observe yourself, you will see that most of your suffering does not come from the world itself, but from your resistance to how things are. You want things to be a certain way, and when they are not, you feel pain. But what if you simply allowed life to be as it is and focused on making yourself unshakable. Then, no matter what happens outside, you remain steady within. This is not about giving up. It is about being intelligent with your energy. Instead of fighting everything, channel your energy inward and master yourself. Freedom is when nothing outside can touch your peace. That is true power. Many people think freedom means the ability to do whatever they want. But real freedom is something deeper. It is the ability to remain completely at peace, no matter what happens outside. It is the ability to go through life without being disturbed by people, situations, or events. This kind of freedom is not given by the world. It is something you cultivate within yourself. If your peace is always dependent on external things, then you are a prisoner of your circumstances. When things go well, you are happy. When things go wrong, you are miserable. But is this freedom? No, this is just being a slave to situations. True freedom means that no matter what is happening around you, your inner world remains untouched. Look at nature. The ocean remains deep and still, even when waves rise on the surface. The mountains remain unmoved even when storms come and go. You too can cultivate this inner stability. When you understand that nothing outside of you has the power to disturb you unless you allow it, you will experience a level of freedom that most people never know. This does not mean that you do not take action or deal with situations. It simply means that you do not lose your inner peace in the process. If someone insults you, instead of reacting with anger, you can choose to remain unaffected. If life throws challenges at you, instead of feeling anxious, you can face them with clarity. This is real power, not controlling others, but being in complete control of yourself. When you stop letting external things dictate your inner state, you become truly free. No situation, no person, no words can shake you. You live with a sense of ease, a sense of calm, and a sense of strength that is unbreakable. This is the highest form of power. Not over the world, but over yourself. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. Life is full of invitations to conflict. Every day people will say things, do things, or create situations that tempt you to react. Someone may speak rudely to you. Someone may challenge your beliefs. Someone may spread false stories about you. In these moments, you will feel the urge to defend yourself, to prove your point, or to fight back. But before you respond, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Most arguments are not about truth, they are about ego. People do not argue to understand, they argue to win. If you observe carefully, you will see that many conflicts do not lead to any resolution. They only create more negativity. One person raises their voice, the other raises theirs higher. One person throws an insult, the other throws it back. But what is achieved? Only stress, frustration, and wasted energy. If you want to live peacefully, you must recognize which battles are worth fighting and which are just traps pulling you into unnecessary chaos. Some people thrive on conflict. They look for reasons to provoke, to argue, to create drama. If you engage with them, you are feeding their need for conflict, and in the process, you lose your own balance. But if you refuse to be pulled in, the argument dies before it even begins. Silence is often the most powerful response, not because you are weak, but because you are wise enough to know that not every fight is worth your time and energy. Walking away does not mean you are defeated. It means you are in control. It means you have chosen peace over pointless conflict. The next time someone tries to drag you into an argument, observe, ask yourself, will this discussion lead to growth, understanding, or resolution? If not, let it go. Some battles are won by simply not fighting them. When you master this, you will realize that peace is not found in winning arguments. It is found in choosing where to invest your energy. Not everything deserves your reaction. Learn to observe without getting involved. Life is constantly throwing situations at you. Some are pleasant, some are unpleasant, some are exciting, some are frustrating, but no matter what happens, you always have a choice. You can react impulsively or you can simply observe. Most people react without thinking. The moment something happens, they respond automatically, allowing their emotions to take control. Someone says something hurtful and they immediately feel angry. Someone behaves rudely and they instantly take offense. But if you live like this, you are nothing more than a puppet controlled by external events. Imagine sitting by a river watching the water flow. The river carries all sorts of things, beautiful flowers, fallen leaves, dirt and even trash, but as an observer you do not jump in and try to catch everything that passes by. You simply watch. This is how life should be. Situations, words and events are like that river, constantly flowing. Some things are pleasant, some are unpleasant, but none of them need to be held on to. You can just observe them without letting them disturb you. The problem is, people do not just observe, they get involved. If someone says something negative, they take it personally. If a situation is frustrating, they let it ruin their entire day. But why? Just because something happens around you does not mean it has to happen inside you. A storm may rage outside, but you can choose to remain calm within. This is the difference between a reactive person and a conscious one. The reactive person is always disturbed by everything around them. The conscious person remains steady no matter what comes their way. The more you practice this, the more you will see that most things are not worth your reaction. A rude comment from a stranger, let it pass. A minor inconvenience, let it go. Not everything deserves your energy. Save your reactions for things that truly matter, and you will find that life becomes much lighter, much simpler, and much more peaceful. When you master the art of not being disturbed by others, you step into a different kind of freedom, one where your peace is no longer held hostage by the words, actions or opinions of people around you. You no longer need the world to behave a certain way for you to be happy, and you no longer waste your energy trying to control what is beyond your reach. Instead, you turn inward, taking full responsibility for your emotions, your reactions and your state of mind. The true power is not in controlling others, but in being unshakable within yourself. When you stop reacting to every little thing, when you choose to remain steady no matter what happens, you will see that life becomes effortless. You will no longer be a puppet of external circumstances. Insults will come and go, praise will come and go, situations will change, people will behave as they do, but you will remain centered, untouchable, free. This is not just a philosophy, it is a way of being. And the moment you choose to live this way, you will experience a deep, unbreakable peace that no one can take away from you.